Well, I sold out years ago and I'm a coward and now I'm being canceled. The network says it's because I'm not funny anymore and nobody watches my show, but that's never mattered in the past, so I think it's because I speak truth to power and they hate that. They're a bunch of dirty, rotten fascists.
Oh my God, Steven, what's wrong?
I sold out years ago and I'm a coward.
Oh, buddy, are you upset because you won't be able to make $15 million a year for being really goddamn annoying anymore?
Yes.
Would you feel better?
Yes.
All right. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Duke and Dutch show. Today we are talking about Mr. Stephen Colbert and about his legendary crash out after The Late Show has been canceled, or it will be canceled in May of April. 2026. Yeah. Yes. So, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you're not man enough to support Stephen Colbert being fired, or you won't cry over that, then are you really a man at all? It is a question everybody's asking, but we got some legendary crash outs here. Obviously, we know from what's going on here, the numbers have actually been released by CBS. Stephen Colbert has lost between $40 and $50 million doing this late show. They personally pay him about $20 million.
Before we get into that, I don't know if you know this or not, but Stephen Colbert sold out years ago, and he's a coward.
He did. Yes, that is very true.
Just want to let you know.
But, you know, even if he sold out years ago and he was a coward and he was making money, I guarantee he would still be on late night. Unfortunately, late night television is dying. It seems like Trump derangement can't carry you for over 10 years, which is a very shocking development. And the numbers have come out, and apparently Stephen Colbert has lost about, or The Late Show, not Stephen Colbert personally, but The Late Show's lost about $40 million. And they pay him about, I think $16, $20 million a year. But Stephen Colbert is not deterred by this development that he is canceling a show that he did not create, that he just took over. No, he is not. He has a message for all you Trumpian people out there.
Donald Trump posted, "I absolutely love that Colbert got fired. His talent was even less than his ratings."
That's kind of true.
How dare you, sir? Would an untalented man be able to compose the following satirical witticism? Go yourself.
I think so. Maybe. I think so.
I'm not mad about the response, though. Like, hey, keep it simple, stupid.
Well, we're going to go into this entire response here, and this seems to be, listen, all these late night show hosts showed up in solidarity to support Stephen Colbert, even though he's losing his network about $40 million a year, but they showed up in solidarity because you have to protect this person. And listen, this used to be a protective class, whether this is USAID money or anything to that sort, or whether they're just being like, hey, Trump's derangement syndrome doesn't sell as well as it used to. I don't know. But Jon Stewart, John Oliver, Seth Meyers, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, they all showed up. I think even Anderson Cooper showed up. Even Anderson Cooper, which I haven't seen.
It's like I said to you off screen. This is like the new WNBA of the late night. It's crazy. It's how do you expect a network to keep your show going when you're not making them money?
They're not making any money at all.
Economics 101. I don't get it.
Well, but it's not about not making money. That's the thing that the Democrats, and they've had senators are pushing back. Elizabeth Warren has come out and said, oh, this is an attack. Oh, my God, what are they doing to Stephen Colbert? This is about, they want these people to be on late night because they're Trump deranged. That's it. They want them to be on.
They're trying to make him a martyr. Come on.
They can make Stephen Colbert.
It's business. This is a private business, and they're not making them money.
I have no sympathy for a $15 million a year making martyr.
Yeah.
None. I'm sorry. My heart is frigid. It is cold. But Jon Stewart obviously really does. Obviously, Jon Stewart, the host of The Daily Show, which, if you actually break it down to an acronym, it is TDS. It's weird. But I'm sure that's unrelated. Obviously it is, because The Daily Show has been around a lot longer than Trump has been in politics, but just thought I was curious. Jon Stewart is going to explain very candidly, very formally, very educatedly about why he believes that Stephen Colbert, even though he is losing CBS about $42.6 million per year, and he himself is taking a pay gap of about $15 million per year, why he should still be on the air. And you know what? Again, I always say loyalty's a big thing with me, so I kind of commend him.
Yeah. Why should the network not lose? How much? 60 million, you said?
42.6.
Yeah, why should the
million.
network not lose $42.6 million?
You're going to lose the comedic stylings of Colbert?
Yeah. It's like, how dare they stop him?
Go fuck yourself! Go fuck yourself! Wait, bring it down. Let's bring it down. Let it be quiet. Fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. Everybody!
I think he's...
I'll give him one thing. I like the song. It's really catchy.
I think a chimpanzee could do this song. So he's essentially saying to the CBS company and to the Sky brand merger that is going to buy up the company that you should keep Colbert on because Colbert is a victim, and that it doesn't matter that he's been losing $42.6 million this year. I don't know how much maybe he lost less last year, but I'm sure it has been elevating time over time. But that shouldn't matter because Colbert is in the privileged class, and he should just, doesn't matter what he does, he should just be able to keep making that type of money. These people,
$15 million victim.
These people are so deranged. They're so removed from reality. I would love, you know what they should do? And I would actually, they do all these reality shows, and I kind of realized this again because obviously Ozzy Osbourne passed away. So I was watching clips from his show, with the Osbournes and whatnot. And I was like, you know what would be a really interesting reality show? Not that Ozzy's show wasn't. I actually think that was a pretty interesting show. And, RIP to him. But they should take people like this, like John Leibowitz, which is his actual name, Leibowitz, not Stewart, Leibowitz, or Stephen Colbert, and they should give them a $30,000 a year budget and see how they live for a year. I think that'd be so interesting. Live like an average American. Could you do that? Could you live off $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year? These people would not be able to handle it. I guarantee it.
I would say absolutely not. No way.
I mean,
they're so out of touch with money. I guarantee you, there's no way.
This is a guy making millions of dollars. I understand he wants to stand in solidarity with his friend, but I think you said this the last episode, Duke. You said, hey, it's a business. And if the business isn't going to make money, and listen, I've ran businesses before, and I've done projects which have made money and have lost money. And obviously the ones that lose money, it's like, even if they're passion projects of it, it's like you can't keep it forever. You have to assess risk versus losses. $42.6 million is quite the loss. I mean, I'll never see that much money in my lifetime. But to them, they're just like, well, why? But I like him. But I personally like Colbert.
Why are you not okay with losing $40+ million every single year?
I don't know.
Like, it's not like that's like how much they've lost his entire run of his show or run of his being
annually.
No. Yeah, that's annually. That's $40 million annually. He lost the network.
But these out-of-touch losers are going to blame Trump because it's Trump's fault.
But of course, it's everything.
It's always Trump.
The fact they're blaming anyone, like besides the ratings. The ratings are just the ratings. It's a private business, especially media, that they live and die by the ratings.
If you want to market yourself as a comedian, maybe try to be funny. I don't know. That could be a thing. Maybe TDS can only take you so far. I guarantee you this very, very cringe like skit will appease to some people. It definitely will make some people go, oh yeah, F Trump, oh yeah, do that. But for a lot of people, they're just going to look at this and be like, you're just an out of touch loser, has been. You're lucky to even be where you are.
I want to understand it completely. Are they saying go fuck yourself to Trump, or are they saying go fuck yourself to CBS?
The CBS.
Which either way, to me, I think they need to understand too. Just because they don't work for CBS,
I think Jon Stewart might work for CBS.
a lot of these networks are very buddy buddy. A lot of these networks know each other. The heads of these networks, they're speaking very boldly about certain networks. They might piss off their bosses at some point, and they might not like the consequences of their actions. But I mean, why? Obviously, they don't care about that.
Jon Stewart does not work for CBS. Part-time host of The Daily Show, Comedy Central, owned by Paramount Global. So I guess...
So Paramount, yeah.
But you know what? I think the reason that, Seth Meyers, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Jon Stewart, John Oliver all showed up in solidarity for Colbert, they all know that late night is not what it was. This is not the time of Johnny Carson. This is not the time of David Letterman. This is not the time of Walter Cronkite. This is a totally new age where people don't really care about your opinions because you're so Trump deranged. And that's all it is. You know what they could have done if they wanted to make the show successful? Have on some different voices. Have on some Republicans.
Well, here's another thing. If they regularly put product out there that has been proven that they are lying or they're not telling the full truth, like with certain vaccines, for instance, it really leaves a bad taste in your viewers' mouths. And after a while of a viewer having bad taste in their mouth, they're like, you know what?
No, they've alienated half the country.
I think I'm done eating this.
I
think I'm done having this flavor in my mouth. Maybe I'm going to try something else.
They've alienated half the country by going down this path. Johnny Carson famously said on late, and obviously he was on late night for many, many, many years. He said, don't get political.
Yeah, if you keep putting product out there, especially that or biased product that may appease certain people, but you really hurt your overall viewer ratings. And
the problem is they're not entertaining either. So
yeah.
But Sonny Hostin argues CBS firing Stephen Colbert is dismantling our Constitution. And listen, we talked about The View in the past, and I've waffled on my choice. I have. I said, is it Whoopi? Is it Joy? Is it Anna Navarro? Is it Alyssa Farah Griffin? Is it the other blonde woman I can never remember the name of? But no, the best one is Sonny Hostin. She gives the most content. She is the best. I love Sonny Hostin. I hope The View stays on the air. I know it's losing. I know it will lose the Disney organization money. Keep it on forever.
It could be financial, and I don't know that it's purely.
It is financial. It's in 100% financial.
This whole it could be. Get out of here.
He's losing $42.6 million a year. And we talked about this last segment. I don't have a clip for this right now. They have 200 staff members. And obviously, Colbert is very overpaid for the work he does. I'm not saying, you want to have a host who's like, can, appeal to the audience, but it's like, he's getting paid $15 million a year. Do you not think he's overpaid for that position?
If you're paying someone $15 million, it doesn't matter who that individual is. They need to produce the ratings. And I'm sorry, if you're paying somebody $15 million and you're losing $40 million, the smart choice is to make sure you end that.
Why do they need a staff of 200 people? I mean, doesn't that seem like a lot for a single show? I mean, I know it is late night, and I know they are on multiple times a week, and I know that they do have the right content and stuff. Like Stephen Colbert's just a mouthpiece. That's it. It just seems like a lot. I think you could run this show with probably like 5 people, 10 people, maybe. I don't know. I don't know anything about Hollywood. I'm guessing you don't need 200 people to do this. But
200 is a lot, but to me that sounds like a lot. The producers, the executive producers, and then the people behind the scenes, the writers. They have to have a team of 15 writers because, of course, you need 15 writers. Well,
You could have two or three. You could have two or three
Yeah,
writers.
no, I'm being
I
very.
guarantee.
In case anyone can't tell, I'm being very sarcastic. You don't need 15 writers to make a solid product.
Not to produce that slop anyway.
Yeah, I don't know how many cameras you actively need in order to record.
2?
I highly doubt
3?
you need as many as they do, because I know they're always panning to different views, different cameras, so one can assume that they have at least 6, 9 different cameramen and soundmen and all this. Like it's obviously overkill, and this is what happens
And
when
yet,
you invest so much into something and it's not a solid product that doesn't give you the ratings. You lose $40 million.
I thought it was just a slight
crazy.
against Colbert, though. Sonny Hostin is going to say how this is against the Constitution of the United States, which God love her.
Political, it could be, but my concern is if it is political, then everyone should be concerned. People on the right should be concerned. People on the left should be concerned, because it's very clear that if it is political, this is the dismantling of our democracy. This is the dismantling of our Constitution, right? And so the First Amendment is the First Amendment for a reason, and that is freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom to speak truth to power. If that is taken away, if the comedians are being attacked, then that means our Constitution is being dismantled. Right. That means
I would say define comedian. Honestly.
Well, one thing I want to point out too, freedom of speech exists in certain platforms. Like when you're working at a job, you don't have freedom of speech. And these people are working on jobs. Whether it's in national TV or not, it's still a job, and we all have policies and procedures we need to follow while we work and get paid handsomely. Like there are certain things you can't do or say while you're working. So there is not absolute freedom of speech when you're talking about late night shows. It's still TV. There's still regulations.
Colbert has tailored his audience for such a long time to just be Trump deranged. And unfortunately for him, I mean, we've gone through the statistics from when David Letterman had it to when Stephen Colbert took over. It's lost about 1 million viewers, and it is, it's tanking in the ratings, obviously. It's not as popular as it once was. I don't know anyone personally who watches late night. Not Jimmy Fallon, not Jimmy Kimmel, not Jon Stewart, not John Oliver, Seth Meyers, nobody. But
it's just specifically, though, the whole idea of Constitution and freedom of speech, but to me, it never was about freedom of speech. You have to actually be practicing freedom.
No, you're alienating half of your audience, obviously, and that's not a good thing. That's something that Johnny Carson warned about. He says, you don't get political. If you get political, then there's going to be a lot of people who are going to tune out. And that's unfortunately what Stephen Colbert went into.
We're talking about a person who's working for a private company. Just happens to be on national TV.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a case of freedom of speech. I'm sorry.
And he sold out years ago, and he's a coward. So.
Of our democracy is being dismantled. And I think every single person should be really, really concerned about it.
I think you, Sonny Hostin, are probably more concerned about it than the average person, because you're in a show, and maybe The View makes money, but I can't fathom that The View would possibly make money. We tune into it a lot. I watch it on YouTube specifically to make content out of it, but I don't know how many people or how many housewives, which is their demographic, is it's the wino mom housewives, who are actually tuning into this every single day. And maybe there are. Maybe people let their TVs run. But I mean, I don't know. I can't see it. I would bet they're hemorrhaging money too. I guarantee it.
Thrilled that Senator Warren, Elizabeth Warren, Senator Bernie Sanders is asking Skydance, is asking for answers whether or not this was political. The Writers Guild is actually...
It's not political. He's losing $42.6 million per year. Not even him. The show, The Late Show, is losing $42.6 million a year. How could that be political?
Actually asking the Attorney General to look into this situation to find out if it was political. And if we find out...
You're broke. You're poor.
It is political. What are we going to do as a country? We must protect our Constitution, and we must protect our democracy. This is bigger than just...
Do you know where we need this for our show? We need clapping seals. Can we get clapping seals? Every time I make a point,
need to get a soundboard. If you get a soundboard, we can.
I'm gonna copy it off the View. I'll get the clapping seals.
The cancellation of a television
I think it's
show.
great.
Yeah, that's
Sonny Holston, obviously the most intellectual person on the View. You know, and I'm sure this has nothing to do with this. I think this is my last. Is it? No, I might have one more clip from this actually. Yeah, I do. Now we're going to go into the CNN panel, which I don't like too much. The only reason I actually bring this up is that because of Scott Jennings. Obviously, everybody knows that. Big fans of Scott Jennings in this show, but there's another. Mr. Wonderful is going to give his take on this, and I think he has a very good take. So obviously and Mr. Wonderful, obviously, he's run a lot of businesses, he's involved in a lot of businesses, everyone loves him from Shark Tank.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a lot of good ideas.
That's not very funny. That's the problem with him. He's not funny. And by the way, if the CBS bosses don't want to whack him, I'll do it for them. I'd fire that guy in 4 seconds if I were running the show.
Yes.
There. Gone. And then let him litigate for his cash if he's worth 20, 30, 40. Let him wait 12 years through litigation and hire his own lawyers. That guy is dumb.
You know, it is interesting that it is interesting that like Trump would fire him or want him fired because he's critical.
And they're bringing Anna Kasparian, who's on CNN. I'm not sure why, but shout out to Anna Kasparian. She's getting less and less woke by the day. She's looking better too. Oh, misogyny, cancel me. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. But anyway, she's getting less and less woke by the day. But they're going to bring up the fact that Trump has currently a lawsuit against CBS for the 60-minute interview. That's what they're talking about right now. Now they're trying to say, well, Trump has pushed for him to be fired. No, Trump's not pushing for him to be fired. You don't make money. It has nothing to do with that. Stephen Colbert, I wish I had the clip. He actually came out and, well, I know where the 24 million. I know we lost 24 million, but what about the 60 million Trump is suing for? It's like, wow, yeah, that's a great point, man. If you only lost 24 million, you should still have a job. Like, get the hell.
Consulted his bosses. Like, what is this guy?
Well, he does have power.
Whack him.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, he's insulting the people that pay him $15 million.
Can you think of anybody else who would come out on the air and insult the people who are paying their... I mean, I couldn't go into a job and do that making $40,000-$50,000 a year.
As
but
I stated,
this guy who's making
when you
$15
sign
million
a contract,
a year, it's like, you're too big for your britches, man. You are too
as
big
I stated,
for
when
your
you sign a
britches.
contract to work for any private organization, there is a list of policies and procedures that you must abide by, or you break the contract, and you are not entitled to the salary that you guys have agreed upon. I'm not saying he broke any contract, but there are absolutely a set of policies and procedures that you have to follow when you work for any private organization.
Interestingly enough, though, they say the gloves, he has actually, I said this, I think we talked about this on Friday, and he said that Stephen Colbert, sorry, he's come out and said this, he said the gloves are off now. I can do whatever I want. And we're going to get into that statement right here.
He got fired before Trump said a word. 46.6.
Trump called for his
With
firing
a very simple explanation.
Okay, let me respond to what you said. Trump called for his firing last fall, just to be clear.
Let's talk about...
Trump's called for a lot of people's firing. He's called for a lot of people's removal from the countries. Normally, most of them self-deport. Like Rosie O'Donnell, he told Rosie to get out. Well, she left of her own accord.
What would actually happen? $46.2 million in losses on a franchise that's
Sorry, I'm dyslexic. I got that wrong. I said 42.6. It was 46.2. Apologies.
40 years old. It's old,
Well, that's
it's
another
dead,
few
and
million.
unfortunately for all of the category, people are geometrically not watching late night TV anymore.
Correct.
Here's the problem for Colbert. His contract is a payout contract through a transaction where there's a change of control. Only a moron would tell the president to F off before he gets his check, okay? So what's going to happen now, in my opinion, is tomorrow, CBS, his boss, will fire him, and they will litigate for the next 5 years his payout.
Fire who? Stephen Colbert?
So now, so now
Get
you're
rid of this
saying...
guy.
Oh, no.
So now you're saying they're really going to fire...
Because you know what? At this point, Stephen Colbert is a liability to the network. That's what he is. He's now an embittered person. He's like, why don't I get my $15 million a year? I have to sit behind this desk and read stuff off a teleprompter. Give me a fucking break. Yeah. Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful here, 100% right. He normally is, actually. You know, not always. I've seen some Shark Tank episodes where he didn't invest on stuff. He probably should have, but normally he's right. He's kind of emerged from the 2024 election cycle as being at least the most level-headed shark. Mark Cuban has taken a tremendous downfall, but we're not talking about that right now.
Yeah, that's not the topic for today.
Well, what do you think, Duke? I mean, final word on this because we got to move on. What's your speculation on if Stephen? Well, I know it's business, but and I know he's losing what, $46.2 million.
It's a business. I've said numerous times in our previous segment and this segment.
What is
he sold out a long time ago, and he's a coward.
He sold out a long time ago, and he's a coward. But
that's my final thought.
What is your speculation on that he will actually take this contract to May, or do you think he's going to say something and disparage the network so much that they're eventually going to sack him? And what do you think also is going to be the future of all these other late night hosts? Which, I mean, maybe some of them make money, maybe some of them don't. I don't know, but I guarantee you they're not raking in the cash like they used to.
So, absolutely, they need to tread water, just like I've said, policies and procedures. If you don't want to listen to your contracts that you have signed to make the millions of dollars that you are making, you are not entitled to the millions of dollars that you have yet to be paid. So be very careful with how you handle the last remaining time on your current contract, Mr. Colbert, because you are not entitled to the money. You have to earn the money by following their policies and procedures.
I don't think he earns the money anyway. I mean, it's just like.
But if he wants to get paid the rest of the money that he is owed to this contract, he really needs to be careful with what he chooses to do with his remaining time, because there are absolute clauses. I can guarantee you, without seeing it firsthand, there are absolute clauses that they are waiting for him to do.
I wish
you don't have to pay him this money.
I should have had the clip, because you said on the last time we talked about this, you said, "Oh, he's not going to be unchanged. He's still got a contract." He actually came out and said, "Oh, I'm unfiltered now." It's like, well, you're only. I
mean, that's stupid.
You're
that's
only
stupid on his part.
Only as unfiltered as the network will allow you to be before they'll just throw you in the trash. Not that it's going to matter to him. Stephen Colbert, he's made his money. He's a very successful person. He's obviously has a very extreme case of TDS. I brought this up because Jon Stewart, obviously, also extreme case of TDS. They think Trump is coming for all of them for some reason. That's not happening. But it's like, oh, I can't stand to see my friend is not making $15 million anymore. Yeah. It's like, what the? Like, get a fucking grip, man. Get a grip. Like, none of you should be making any type of this money. You're not funny. You're not worth it. Half of the country, I would say more than half the country. Actually, I can say that confidently because Trump won the election and he won the popular vote. More than half the country doesn't like you. And we'll probably cover this topic more and more because I think the Colbert crash out will become more and more fervent as we move on.
And per your second question, before we stop this, I think they really need to pay attention to what is happening to Stephen Colbert, because if it could happen to him,
it'll happen
absolutely
to
happen to Jon Stewart. It could absolutely happen to Jimmy Fallon.
It's a domino effect, man.
If it's not going to, they are delusional. They're 110% delusional.
I guarantee you,
private business.
Everybody's going to look at this, and it's going to be a domino effect, and it's going to kick all of them down, because it's like, I don't know the inner works of the networks, but I would guarantee you that their viewership is down from 10 years ago, and I guarantee you that none of them are pulling in actual money. I'm sure they're subsidized by everybody else in the network who is somehow paying their $15 million salaries. But we're going to leave it there, folks. Let us know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, and we will catch you in the next segment.